Cheers! Welcome to my channel. This is a daily tarot oracle reading, Tattletales from Tales from the Vector. This is a general or collective reading, so parts of it may or may not resonate with you. Just take what works for you and leave the rest. This is also a timely reading, meaning if you're watching it at this time, it is the perfect time for you. Having said that, you may want to take a look at what was going on in the past if it's been a while since I have posted this. All right, so here we have the energy coming through from the bottom of the deck. We have the Two of Pentacles. The Two of Pentacles represents someone who's very busy, multitasking away. And this is talking about having, being busy and managing it, but the waves getting bigger and gaining momentum with the ships getting bigger represent how sometimes when we get so busy, we end up being busy. And it's saying that if you're multitasking, you don't want to be multitasking to the point where you have more quantity work than quality, and then you end up doing things twice. And this is also saying that you might be juggling like two extremes. This could be maybe you work two jobs, or you work and you go to school to pay, and you're working to pay for it. Possibly this could represent work hard, play hard kind of energy, home, business life. And this card is saying juggle your options, but never juggle your morals. So that is the underlying energy for the entire reading. And then we have the Three of Swords. The Three of Swords is talking about, you can clearly see that there's some heartache of some sort here. And this is talking about, sometimes this can represent someone who is in if it's romance, that there was a third party involvement, dividing two people that were a couple. It can also represent harsh words or gossip, slander, that type of energy. It's, when you look at it, you see, okay, this is really bad. There's three swords through this person's heart. But then when you look closer, you realize, the heart is actually bigger than in context to the swords. So the swords would be more like nails, maybe. So possibly you could recover from this energy. This is saying that that you need to heal your heart, and some heartbreaking decision might have to be made. The swords represent the element of air. And it's talking about your thoughts, basically, based on your mental intelligence and your mind, and the discipline you have over your mind. And these swords are also double-edged, saying that if you want to have creative solutions, you need to use one edge is your logic and the other edge is your intuition. And then we have the energy of the Seven of Wands. And the wands in tarot represent the element of fire and taking passionate action. And so this person is clearly like in a bit of a battle here. He's got like 6 against 1. And he has this one wand protecting his chest and his heart. And this is saying that he's willing to fight for what is his. And, if he has to battle for it, he will. This card basically means now that he has learned something. And maybe that's why a heartbreaking decision has to be made. He has just learned something, and he's willing to fight for what's his. And so this is talking about when you know what you know and you have conviction beyond a doubt, this is the action that you're taking. You will fight for what is yours. He's standing his ground on higher ground. And you notice he has one boot on one foot and a shoe on the other. And so this can sometimes represent being straddled between two worlds, not having made the decision as of yet. Or it can also represent walking in someone else's shoes, or perhaps someone stealing your identity and walking in yours. That type of energy, because this can sometimes represent this gossip and slander energy. And then this is talking about the Three of Pentacles. The Pentacles in tarot represent the health, wealth, and happiness in the third dimensional world. And this is really awesome. You're in an elevated position. It means that people are really noticing you've mastered your skill set. You're doing really well in your career. That type of energy. In this case, this person is a stonemason. He's working on the stonework here, and look at the beautiful work he's doing. So these two people are coming and they want to collaborate with him. Now this energy is saying quite often this card can represent secret society energy, or different, and that can be cults, whatever. It could be different groups of people. People who have power over certain industries. You quite often see in the music industry and the actors in Hollywood, etc. We're seeing a lot of that in the news now, that's for sure. And just making sure that whatever contracts you sign or any agreements that you make, that you really, really look into it. Because if you have a skill set that's like a little bit original, like, an actor or something like that, or you're a pro sports person, that type of energy, quite often, like, history's full of people who have been taken advantage of when they're in that position. And so you want to make sure that you have someone who understands law and contracts of that sort, someone who specializes in that area, looks over your contract and checks for any loopholes in that. You want to make sure that anyone you sign up with is in alignment with your lifestyle. The Pentacle energy is talking about, it's in the shape of coins with the pentacle inside, but that's because money is a really big part of health, wealth, and happiness on the 3D. It's important, but you could have all the money in the world and not be living the lifestyle that you want. And so you have to be careful who you sign up with, what contracts you sign up for, that they're going to be in alignment with the lifestyle that you want to live. And then this is talking about the Chariot. So this is coming in, you've been it looks like, I don't know what this is about, but it looks like as far as your career is concerned, it's moving forward. The Chariot also represents that you're on a destined path. So this is, the Chariot is like a tank, because it carries you to where you need to go when you're on your destined path, the one that you were, that God had brought you in for, like it's part of his plan. And so this energy is talking about, it's like a tank moving through. Once you make up your mind, okay, this is the direction I'm going in, then you notice there's no reins here. This is talking about, okay, I'm on my way. And then this is talking about maybe you're expanding your horizons here. This person is standing at the turret of their castle and they're looking out over their domain and saying, wow, you can be proud of yourself. You've been very successful. If you're standing here like this, it's generally saying, quite often this reminds me of an entrepreneur that's possibly has one really successful business going, but he wants to expand and maybe take it global, or maybe overseas, maybe a franchise, turn it into a franchise and have locations, all over. He has this globe in his hand and he's saying, I have the world in my hands. But he knows that he feels like he's a big fish in a little pond, and it's time to broaden his horizons. This is also representing passion, remember, so this is passionate action. So it could be that perhaps he's been, this is representing your energy, and you've been very busy on the pentacle side of things, your career and that type of energy. And maybe now you're wanting to expand by having that special someone in your life and having a family. This type of energy, kind of leading into this is saying, because the King of Pentacles is someone that is respected for their business acumen. This is someone that would, be in the banking industry, or that's good with finances and money, maybe a financial advisor, a life insurance salesperson, retirement expert, maybe, a wealth management, that type of energy. This could also represent someone who actually works in a bank, and they would be at least at a manager level. It can also represent the energy of real estate, because the pentacle represents the element of earth. So this can represent land development. If this is a real estate agent, it would be someone that's well established and has like a lucrative clientele, that purchase, and maybe even in commercial real estate, that type of energy. This could be a very successful entrepreneur, maybe someone who's the head financial advisor for a big corporation. And there's grapes on the king's robe. Grapes represent, in tarot, grapes represent having, it's a luxury. And if you can grow grapes and then also make money off it, then you're highly admired. And people will tend to go to a person like that because they have respect for them. And then we have the Two of Swords. And this person is representing someone who has a closed mind, or like maybe I feel like it has to do back to this energy here, where there's a heartbreaking decision that has to be made here, and they don't want to have to make it. And notice we have two swords here, and this energy is saying this or that. There's only two options, this or that, or my way or the highway, that kind of energy quite often. It's draining this person's energy. You can see their feet are turned out, the way they're sitting. And in body language, that's draining your energy from the masculine and the feminine side. And protecting the heart, the arms are crossed over the heart, protecting it. And we have the right arm holding the left arm back. So the right arm is your logic, and the left arm would represent your intuition. And yet we have this new moon in the background, and the new moon is saying, use your intuition. So remember, these swords are double-edged. One edge is about logic, and the other edge is about using your intuition. And during the full moon and the new moon, there's is when you're highly intuitive. And this energy is saying also that there's never only two ways to do anything. There's always a lot of creative solutions, but you have to combine your logic and your intuition to be able to access that. And then we have this energy here of taking the time to do so. Good for you, okay? This is saying putting your mind under arrest. Laying this sword down and saying, be quiet, mind. I want peace of mind. This is talking about someone going inward, meditating, praying, asking God for assistance, connecting with all that is, and doing their best to find the creative solution, or choosing which one of, maybe they've come down to two solutions now, and now they're trying to decide, okay, which one of these two am I going to make? This energy can be talking about the subconscious mind, which is formed by the time you're about 6 or 7. And your subconscious mind is formed when you're a baby, and from your environment. A baby is like a sponge, and also from the thoughts of the people that were in charge of your care. So that mind is really made up of other people's thoughts and values. Quite often we don't remember it. So but yet it's so heavily imprinted on us, because we're like sponges at that age, that when we get stressed out, that's the first mind that tells us, do this. And we're like, okay. and yet it's the least reliable, and quite often is what your parents would do or what your grandparents would do, and not necessarily what you feel in your heart is the right thing to do. Then we also have the unconscious mind, which is about your spiritual needs. A lot of people recognize, yes, I'm a human being with a soul, but from the soul's perspective, you're a soul traveling in a human body, and that's your vehicle for navigating Earth. And if the needs of your soul aren't met, then it starts arguing with the subconscious mind and the conscious mind. And the conscious mind is like, you could say, for example, I got up this morning, I went to the gym, and then I met with a friend, and we talked about this and that, and I came home. And the next day you could be relating that story to someone, you remember it, you were there. Like it's very accurate, because it's actually your thoughts. And so when these three minds are disciplined and work for you through prayer and meditation, then you can really get to your heart's desires. And so that's what I feel. Sometimes this card can be representing someone who's been through something really, really challenging, but now they've managed to discipline their mind through meditation and prayer, and it's plugged into their actual authentic desires, into their heart. And so this can be talking about healing and forgiveness after going through something that was challenging. And now your life has become better because now you have conviction beyond a doubt. And we have the Empress energy. So the Empress is representing a very powerful manifester, a generator of energy. She is in the major arcana, but she embodies the qualities of all of the 4 queens from the minor arcana. And her energy is she's very productive, and she's said to be pregnant with possibility. Sometimes this card can actually represent an actual pregnancy. So if you're not wanting to manifest that, understand you're very fertile at this time, so take care of that for yourself. And also, this is talking about her growing this wheat. And so the way that she manifests is she uses her logic and her intuition. She's, is it going to be durum? Is it going to be wheat? What kind am I growing? And then she looks into it. She decides which would be the best field to put it in. And then checks out the soil. Does it need amending? Does it need fertilizing? Picking all the stones and the rocks to make sure that that the seeding and harvesting equipment don't get damaged while they're working in the field there. And then she will wait until the perfect day to schedule the planting of that. And after that, she waves her magic wand and says, "Okay, nature, do your thing." I'm off on another project. And she's an organic farmer, so she does not spray. So, and she's known for growing bumper crops almost every single time. And so she's confident that's what's going to happen, and her confidence really allows her to manifest at a high level. And we do have a King of Cups here as well. So there's a King of Cups, and the King of Cups is like representing someone who wants to offer someone a cup of love. So you could be the King of Cups, or you could be the Empress energy. That's the 2 major energies we have here. And you might be the King of Cups and want to offer the Empress a cup of love, or there's a King of Cups that's interested in offering you a cup of love. So the King of Cups is the most available emotionally of all the kings, the most solid when it comes to love. He would be the most likely to be in a traditional relationship. This is someone that, you can count on him. He has very good control of his emotions, which you can see he's sitting out in the middle of this rough water. And rough water in tarot represents having volatile emotions and chaos in your life. He's not bothered by it, whatever it is. I think he's more, the energy I feel comes more from the Empress energy, because quite often if we go through hardship and then we recover from it, that's what brings us to an Empress level. So he may see this person as his Empress, and he's waiting until she's in good space, like a good space to accept his offer, because he knows if she's still here, she may not. And maybe she's trying to decide whether or not she's going to accept his offer, because she's had heartbreak in the past and she doesn't know if she wants to put herself in that vulnerable position again. That's the energy I'm picking up here. But the Wheel of Fortune is turning, and it's turning in her favor and his favor. This is talking about the past, the present, and the future coming together in synchronicity. It's actually 3 wheels coming together into the moment now. And on one of these wheels is actually the Hebrew letters for the name of God, Tetragrammaton, which is actually a sacred geometric symbol describing the unity and perfection and perfect order of everything that God ever creates. And then we have the 7 of Swords coming in here, So what's this doing here now? So this is in this energy of you know, having to stand your ground and fight for what's yours. Now, this energy, I call this the shift disturber card, because this energy, it's a walking contradiction. You don't really, it's hard to say what this person's up to. Sometimes it could be they don't have necessarily bad intentions, but they're just, their reasoning is like, what, why? It's confusing. And why, like for instance, why are they leaving these two swords here? Is this about these two? And what does he have to do with it? You know, that type of energy. And he's sneaking away with 5 swords here. And, you know, this energy is talking about, it's broad daylight. And why is he being so sneaky? He's wearing a bright red cap and bright red boots. Everybody can see him. So if he's a thief, I mean, he's not a thief in the night. So then he is a daylight thief. And, you know, remember, this could represent intellectual property or patents or something like that. Or he could be sitting behind a desk somewhere, you know, with white collar crime energy happening here. So, you know, it sometimes can represent that. He's moving forward, but he's looking backwards over his shoulder. And what bothers me the most about this card is the way he's carrying the swords, because nobody carries swords like this. These are really, really sharp. Have you ever seen anyone carry swords like this? And he's not looking where he's going, so if he trips, he could really, really hurt himself. And if he's that dangerous with his own energy, then what would he be like with someone else's? And you know, it is sitting on this, having to be in a position where you're, you know what you know now, and you're standing your ground, and I feel like that's this energy of the Empress. And this energy here, it's kind of like this is also representing sometimes the 7-year itch. And apparently, when I looked into what's the 7-year itch, because it popped into my head, is that statistically, if people don't divorce in the first year of marriage, where they just realize, oh man, we made a mistake, and they get out right away, then around between the 7th and 8th year is the most common time that people get divorced. I didn't know that. So this energy is talking about just suddenly, like the person wants to go off and be with someone else, or they just don't want to be in the relationship anymore. But interestingly enough, it can also represent real estate and business. So, you know, it's just someone okay, I'm selling my house. And, you know, what do you mean, let's sell a house? You know, it's just out of nowhere. Or I don't want to be in this business anymore, and leaving someone else to deal with the mess, you know, of them not coming through. That type of energy. And so it causes a dark night of the soul for the people around. They're off doing whatever they wanted to do, and there you are, having a dark night of the soul, trying to figure out how you're going to make this work now, and dealing with the after effects. And so this energy, the hermit isolates himself, or is isolated through whatever circumstances. But this represents after the dark night of the soul, when you're broken and you're trying to figure out, what am I going to do? That he climbs up to the top of the mountain, and until his lantern is full of the North Star light. And then the North Star represents your North Node, the path that you're meant to follow to have success. And this energy is talking about it's shining its light on his rod, and then he knows, okay, it's time to take action. I'm coming down from the mountain. I know what to do. And that's kind of this energy here, moving into this. But the good news is going through all this creates this person, pushes them into being an empress. So the Wheel of Fortune is now turning for them, and possibly a King of Cups has noticed this person. So what else happened? Okay, so this is talking about temperance. This is about someone wanting to be on their destined path and staying on it. It's right above the Chariot here. And so this energy is talking about, adding your special alchemy to the universal pool. And you notice the right foot is here, taking action by adding that. And then her left foot is sitting on, is grounded on this land, and right where her foot's touching, look at the beautiful flowers that are growing there already. And this is about taking your destined path, the path of glory. The sun is shining there, and that represents God. Now, a lot of people feel that this is the energy of earth angels. In the Bible, it says God sends 144,000 angels down to the planet to be able to empower people on their journey and to add a little bit of fairness and beauty into their lives. And then we have the Queen of Pentacles. The Queen of Pentacles is talking about someone who is also very good with money. Now, we have a king and a queen here. So this could be a separate couple, or sometimes this can talk about the Empress's journey of how she became a queen. But I feel like this, I mean, it could be, this could be the same person that was married to, I don't know. It's hard to say right now. We have two kings here. And we have we have a queen and an empress. And these two feel like they're together, and maybe these two are together, that type of energy. The Queen of Pentacles is also known to be very good with money, with lifestyle. She is known for her resourcefulness. So she is someone that is totally, you know, you can count on her. She understands the value of a dollar. She knows how to run a household. She knows how to have a good lifestyle. She is more about quality than quantity, so she's not flashy with her money. This is representing generational wealth, or a legacy that can be passed down from one generation to the next. So she's someone that would be, you know, really stable in that way. I could see the King of Cups being attracted to her, so this could represent the same energy, and this could just be someone that you had gone to, that she had gone to for advice. It's hard to say, or it could be a separate couple. I feel like these two are together for whatever reason. Now, isn't that interesting? Wait a minute here. Maybe this is representing, because why does the Queen have to be so resourceful if she's married to the King of Pentacles? So, you know, it's hard to say. We'll keep going. I'm reading for a bunch of people, so take what works for you, leave the rest. And then we have disappointment in love on this energy here. Okay, and this is all seems to be here. So maybe this was a couple, and this is where the disappointment in love comes in. And maybe this is another king. And because the Empress energy, or the Queen energy, went through this, she now is Empress status, and this other king is like, woohoo. He's noticing her, watching her go through this journey. And this could represent, I mean, if this is, if this king is, when they were married, and this king maybe was being sneaky with you know, with whatever, you know, the legalities or whatever. Maybe this is a prenup that went wrong. I don't know, something. It could be several things. And because we have someone juggling morals here, and we do have this heartbreak, right? So, you know, take it, you'll know if this is your reading, which way it's gone. So this is talking about someone who's disappointed in love. So the cups in tarot do represent the energy of romantic love. So if it's romantic, it could represent a third-party energy here. It could represent a pregnancy because of that here. And if this is, this could also represent doing your best to get the same project going 3 times. And it fails each time. If it's a business thing and it's something you really love, that you've poured your heart and all your energy and effort into, and the universe is saying, go another time, you know. So if it's not about love, it could be about a partner. Maybe, you know, the partner snuck off with coin or whatever, like something like that happened. Then this also could represent giving someone, whether that's a romantic partner or a business partner, 3 chances, and they're asking for a 4th, and you're like, no way, 3 strikes, you're out, I'm done. Like, I'm off. I'm not taking another crack at it. And which you can understand, generally people have a tendency to show you who they are the first time around, right? And then we have some information coming in about pentacles. And so this is some sort of communication or information coming in. The pages would work for the king and queen from the time when they were very young. So this could be, this energy sometimes represents you when you were younger, and there was something about some pentacles, because this sometimes can be generational wealth. So the Page of Pentacles, interestingly enough, because here we have the Page of Pentacles as the first information coming in, and we have a King and Queen of Pentacles couple. So he would work for them when, and like this could be like him now or when he was younger, because the pages would work for the King and Queen around 7 to 14 years of age, depending on, you know, how mature they were. And you have to remember, back in those days, people were like, the life expectancy was only half of what it is now. So people went to work early. And it would be a real coup to be working for the palace, way better than a lot of the other jobs out there. And so he would be learning, you know, about their lifestyle and how to live it. And this could be someone that when they became 21, if they were doing a really good job, they would be considered for knighthood as long as they could afford their own horse. And so this energy could be talking about someone that has known the king and queen since they were young, that type of energy. And they're bringing in some sort of information about pentacles. The pages it would be their job to deliver communication within the palace and run small errands and tasks, you know, and that got bigger and bigger, more responsibility as they became older. But in those days, this would always be a male, but you have to remember that all of the characters in tarot are archetypes, so they can be, this could be a female in her masculine energy, just as the queens could be male in their masculine energy, or feminine energy, sorry. And so this energy is talking about communication also. In those days was always in person, basically, handed with a note or verbal. But nowadays, this could represent a telephone call, you know, a text. You could maybe get an email, something in the mail, documents. This could be, you know, contracts, that kind of energy with the pentacle energy, real estate deals. What else? This could represent, you know, you get a message on social media, and then you know, especially with all the influence there's about lifestyles, you know, seeing Instagram, all of that is real for sure. And then, you know, all those pictures with the perfectly clean house. Some people do live up to that. But this energy is talking about like some sort of communication coming in. And it's about pentacles, it's about lifestyle. And we have, and look at, I kind of figured, now this is the knight grown up, and this is interesting because look at, we have the king and the queen as a couple, and there's disappointment in love, and this page that worked for them since he was young and is now a knight is bringing in some communication. And if we ended, like if this was the top of the pyramid, it would be like bringing in communication about this thief and the Wheel of Fortune turning now, and this disappointment being healed because of all this inner work, right? Interesting. But the king, let's keep going. The Knight of Pentacles, then, we've explained who he is. Now he's the slowest of them all. Look at his horse, his head is standstill. This guy has to have a board meeting with himself every time he makes a decision. And so it can be really painfully slow for this information to come in, but this definitely is talking about, you know, this could talk about even 2 decades of energy. You know, if he started at 7 and now he's, you know, 27, it could be, you know what I mean? Like it could be, or even 37. He'd be almost an old man by then. But so that energy, there's some communication coming in. And it's interesting, it's like it's been taking him that long, or like you have to understand that it's not his fault. He's just the messenger, don't kill the messenger kind of energy. He's doing his best. He can't bring the information in until someone gives it to him. And then we have the energy here of competition. And this is immature competition again here. Interesting. So there could have been some sort of real severe competition for something. You know, like this is the only card in the deck where there's like adolescent people other than the pages, and they're actually, this is representing like they're battling over something. And look at it, it's almost like it's down here, this energy here, battling for this position, and he's won because he's at the top. You know, interesting. So I don't know what that maybe it was. I don't know what that is, but you might know if this is your reading. And so this is talking about immature competition. This is my Mean Girls card. This is like when, you know, think about it, there's a cheerleading competition, and the other team is better than this team, and they know it. They can tell, like they're doing these moves, but they want that trophy. So they'll try and think of sneaky ways to win. And if they don't succeed, then their mothers will pull strings behind the scenes to win. And so instead of learning from the competition or being inspired by the competition, they take that attitude where the trophy's more important than the actual knowledge that you gain from being in competition. If you you can learn from the competition and be inspired by it. Like if Stella, go away or come up here and be a good girl. Do one of the two, please. She says, I'm going to stay here and purr, Colette. I promise I'm not going to be obnoxious. Okay. You sit and purr. That's your job. You're not supposed to be irritating. All right. So we have this energy here of, you know, this immature competition. Instead of learning from the competition, being inspired by the competition, they are more interested in the trophy, whether they deserve it or not. And then look at this, we have a King of Swords here. Now, the King of Swords quite often represents someone who's in, you know, he uses his words, whether that be written or verbal, to earn his living. So he's well established and intelligent and educated, and so he's a professional that, you know, he's not a physical labor type of guy. And this energy quite often can represent politician energy. Like we've got a king here, so if it's a politician, it would be a president, a prime minister, someone in the Congress, in you know, the Senate, someone who has some pull, someone that maybe is a minister in the federal government. In Canada, it's different. The political systems are different, but like that, somewhere, like whatever country it's in, the top, you know, in the top tier. And then this energy can also talk about, this could be a surgeon, a veterinarian, a dentist, that kind of energy. This could also represent someone who does research, and maybe they won the Nobel Peace Prize because they found the cure for something, and or, you know, that type of energy. This could also represent someone that is an inventor and, you know, has a lot of patents and that type of energy. Possibly also, this is quite often the legal system, and if this would be judges, head prosecutors, that type of energy. And if this was like a lawyer, for sure this would be someone that would be a partner in, you know, in an established firm. Quite often the King of Swords, when we have a couple here and we have this kind of energy, it can sometimes represent, you know, a divorce lawyer. It's that type of energy. And then we have at the very top here, interesting, because this is the Three of Pentacles, very similar to the energy down here. When he was thinking about moving forward, moving on, doing something different, going across the waters, getting away from the people he's around right now. So this could be the king and the queen getting a divorce, because after a disappointment in love, and it was a hard decision to make, but they make that decision, or one of them does, and of course that affects both. And this is talking about someone being on the edge of change, basically. And he is looking over like this into the horizon, but the water is now golden with the the sunset, or it's a sunrise. And the ships are sailing by, and he's thinking, I want to hop on one of them babies and go on an adventure. I'm done with this energy. And quite often these two these two wands planted here can represent leaving. He's walked through that portal, leaving a situation where he was in a couple and now he's single. So that would kind of represent that energy there. My cat has happy feet. I don't know if you can hear her purring. She's doing a pretty good job. Cat's purr actually raises the vibration to lower blood pressure. So know that that's her job, and she's doing it now. Good girl. And so this is talking about heartache, and then the Wheel of Fortune turning in your favor. There's some sort of thievery, whatever going on here, some weird energy. And then there's information that's been wanting to come in for a long time. It's interesting. We don't have any judgment being called here. This is talking about immature competition and then wanting to leave and go somewhere else. And this can actually represent like actually picking up and moving. This energy here quite often represents lawyers, like divorce lawyer, and this is because there was disappointment in love, and the Queen and the King make a difficult decision to separate. Whew, okay. There was juggling of morals somewhere along here, so there might have been a third party involvement. Do we have do we have another? Well, we have the Empress here. Interesting. So that could represent, maybe this king wanted to offer a cup of love to this Empress and left this, or they were in a third party energy, and that's why they were sneaking around in broad daylight. That could be. And the Queen of that would make sense, because why does she, if she comes from all this money, why is she having to be so resourceful? And this could represent. So take it, you'll know if it's your reading. And then look at this. On the bottom we have marriage. And another thing that's interesting here, we have this energy of there's 4, like 11, 11, 1, 11, 11, 11, 1, 11, 11, 11. When these cards all come up together, I feel like this is your intuitions trying to tell you something. So pay attention here. The 1, 11, 11, 11 portal is talking about all of a sudden you just start seeing 1, 11, 11, 11 like everywhere you go. And this is like a portal that you enter, where you're, the universe is trying to speak to you and tell you, hey, you need to pay attention to something. And the best way to describe it is like this. You're sitting at your computer, and all of a sudden you notice, oh, it's 11:11, and then you remember, I have an appointment today. I need to check, I'm going to Google and see where it is, and how long is it going to take me to drive there. So you look it up, and it's at 111 11th Avenue, and you're like, oh, okay. And it takes 11 minutes to get there, and so you're like, okay. And as you're leaving the house, you glance at the clock, your appointment's at 1:30, and it's 1:11, and you're like, oh, good, I still have 11 minutes to get there. But on the way, there's a small detour on your path, and you're like, oh no, I'm going to be late, and it's an important meeting, but the vehicle in front of you has a license plate 111, and you're like, no way. And so you're like, and all of a sudden the traffic breaks and you get to your appointment on time. So this is the universe saying that at this time you're manifesting at a very high level. the Empress level. And so you have to be careful what your thoughts are. And you'll notice after this, you'll start seeing 111 and 1111 everywhere. And it's really weird, but like you do. And then you'll start to notice that when you're seeing it, if you check your thoughts, it'll be like, because the universe is saying, like when you're in that situation where you're in that detour, focus on where you want to go, not on how hard it is going to be to get there. You're manifesting exactly what you're thinking at this time. So that's the energy. And so I feel like you're in control here. You have to have the right attitude to be able to move through this energy. And it could really work for you in your favor, even though it's challenging. Whoops. Oh, this card definitely wants to come out as the first card. Oh, of course. Okay. So I'm going to clarify for those that want clarification. If you're leaving the reading here, thank you for your time and energy. Please give it a like and comment. Consider subscribing if you resonate. I would be honored. Now, for those of you who want more clarification, I'm using my oracle. And this is Tales from the Vector. And I started this back in 2007. And in 2020, I completed all 64 paintings. And now I'm getting ready to bring it out eventually. I have a lot of information, and I have a gallery of the 64 paintings on my website, talesfromthevector.com. The numbers on these cards represent the paintings as they're listed there, so you can check it out. I'm gathering information to put in the book that goes with it. So that information will be in the box below. They say a picture paints 1,000 words, so perhaps this will give you further clarity. So this is talking about a major transition happening because of this juggling, I feel. Someone was juggling morals and pentacles, and for a long time too. Like, this could be 20 to 30 years. How is that even possible? So foolhardy, this is talking about anticipation. Because you're staying on your destined path. So even the heartache and everything you've gone through elevates you to this Empress energy possibly, or you're the Queen of Pentacles. And although it may be very difficult, it might be a very challenging decision to make. You may find out later that, this wasn't what you thought it was. And that the King of Pentacles has been offering a cup of love maybe to this Empress energy, behind your back kind of energy. So it's hard to say, could be that. You'll know if it's your reading. Pisces, take the parts that work for you and leave the rest. The Pisces energy is about a senior executive with authority. This is sink or swim it, and this is talking about using your sensitivity to be intuitive rather than being so sensitive that you get stuck in this energy. So as soon as you start using your intuition and disciplining your mind, then you'll have the freedom to move forward. So when the horoscope signs come up in my readings like this, I'm not talking about an individual person, although it could be in your reading, use your intuition, but I'm talking more about the energy of the sign. And so the Pisces energy is the last sign in the zodiac. It's talking about someone who has a lot of authority. It's usually a paternal energy, kind of like, could be like the father's bloodline, which a paternal bloodline, because it's sitting right under this energy here. So there's something going on here, and it might have to do with a pregnancy. And it might be someone who, is older now, because it might have happened way back when. Interesting. And I don't know, I'm getting a lot coming through, but it would be different for everybody. That a tower hits, and this could be divorce. Now, this card doesn't always mean divorce. This is actually the worst divorce would be from source, but I feel like there possibly is a divorce between these two, because maybe the King of Cups totally out of character for him to step out. Usually, mind you, this is kind of a different energy, because out of all the kings, if this king feels betrayed, then all bets are off. If you betray him, he's going to hold a grudge. And then, so we have the falling star energy, And that would be falling and failing in love is a matter of I, about the heart chakra, having to heal the heart after going through a difficulty, and then that sets you on a different journey. The magician energy is coming in. This is talking about getting through this, basically opening. You need to use your intuition and listen to it with this 11, 11, 111 coming through here like this. And, you know, this is talking about an energetic upgrade if you do so. And then we have the world. So this changes. The world is talking about when the Fool goes on a journey, begins their journey at the 0 point. Then the World card at 21 is saying you've learned everything you can from this energy and it's time to move forward in a different way. So this could, it's sitting right on the Queen, so this could say she's moving forward in a different world from this energy. Interesting. So this is Temperance on Temperance. This is saying the Queen has been holding, this Queen of Pentacles has been on a path of, devoted to her designated divine path. And that's the energy she's been in. And the sun is shining on that. She did ask for clarification from after this dark night of the soul, sitting on this king and this emperor. I think we have the answer there. I feel there's a divorce because the King of Cups, who's usually like a very reliable in love, has decided that this Empress, maybe he felt the grass was greener, and that's the energy, I guess. And then this is because then right after that we have them wanting to marry. So the Libra energy is talking about the Wheel of Fortune turning and him wanting to marry this Empress energy instead. Interesting. I feel like this energy here belongs to the Queen and the divorce here. And then this is the King and this other person that he feels is his Empress. And the funny thing is that's coming up, the reason there's two, I think, Temperance on Temperance is saying that because she was patient, she has been elevated to an Empress energy, but it's because of this. I just had a reading very similar to this. It's maybe explaining that one better. I don't know if it's the same. It could be the same couple. But this king decided to be with this person, I feel, because he felt that she was an Empress. And they got, this queen got divorced, but now she's in the Empress energy because of everything she's been through. She's on a foolhardy journey now because of it. And what else is going on here? Good Lord. We have dissemination of information. So there's been an elephant in the room. And I feel like someone was not, like I feel this energy of this queen here. Way back here, something was telling her there's something going on in this relationship. And she didn't want to listen to it. She didn't want to see it. And this is this 111, 11, 11 energy here. Falling and failing in a love. And it's a matter of you have to love yourself enough to listen to your intuition. And then we have the Aries energy on top of that. So this is talking about, it's interesting again because there's an infant energy here. And maybe this person's pregnant. Something to do with that energy. It's a different reading. So, or this just can represent all the new energy coming in, that now that this queen is in a different space. Okay, so that this queen is in a different, because that cycle is over. Now she is in this new energy, and judgment has been called, that her heart is unfettered. So maybe the reason why this card came up at the end is that she also will end up having the love that she wants, but it was after divorcing this king. So it could be definitely this judgment unfettered here, being at the top, is representing God's judgment, and God is here as well. So it's a weird, it's kind of talking about how things work out in the end in a, you know, in a different way. I don't feel that this queen at this point is in a established relationship, but I think there's some energy here from that comes in, information about Pentacles, that it changes her lifestyle for the better, for sure. And there's been an elephant in the room and nobody wanted to see it. So God's judgment is coming in, that she should be single now and move forward on her own, unfettered. You know, her heart healed, enough pentacles for sure to be able to move forward because of this energy coming in here. Interesting. And this Aries energy, this infant energy, maybe this is saying that this is something that she, it is hers. This could even represent someone who has a trust fund coming in. And a lot of times you have to be like a certain age before you get to collect it. So it could be something like that as well. I'll leave it at that. You'll know if it's your reading. There's quite a few different scenarios here, but basically I feel like the energy is talking about staying on your path and, you know, recognizing if you don't panic, you know, and you work on it to control your mind and your emotions, that you'll come out of it okay here. And better than okay in her case. All right. I do hope you've enjoyed this tale. Give it a like and comment if you have. Consider subscribing to the channel. If you resonate, I would be honored. And I have to wake up my little cat now. I'm sorry. All right. Bye for now.